What's going on, guys? What is happening? We are back. Last stream, what, 3 months ago? What's going on, Sam? Welcome in, mate. Good to speak to you. Good to speak to you. And also, check this out. I think, well, I've got new Wi-Fi, so I don't think we're going to have any stumbling issues like what we had previously. I don't want to speak too soon on that, but I think we're going to be good. Which is a lot less drama for me running an Ethernet cable from the old from the house all the way down here. But anyway, yeah, what's going on, guys? For those who are obviously here and going to be joining or watching like later on, hopefully there's some people who still remember who I am. I am still playing Sorare, quite poorly actually. And we're going to take a look at that tonight. What's been going on and stuff. I'll probably do a video in the next week, a little bit more specifically about like incomings, outgoings, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, let's just go. I don't know how many people are going to be joining tonight, etc. So let's just get going with it. Let me switch screen. So, yeah, it's not been great, but let's start with this current game week and what's going on. This is what's going on. So annoyingly, I captained Højbjerg here, which was obviously the wrong decision. I captained him last week and he done fantastic for me. But the two people that I was captain in up until the last minute it was a choice between Bruno and Moses Simon, and obviously I didn't go for the person who had 100. I didn't go for the person who had scored 75. I went for the person who scored 44. But the fixture there in Højbjerg's form, and I thought Marseille was going to score sort of 4 or 5. So, I went with him to get a decisive in there. And obviously with Bruno and the way that Manchester United are playing, I know it is Bruno Fernandes and obviously he's a good Sorare player, but I just thought, against Everton are kind of in a bit more form. Opted against. But let's see what we can do. Ultimately, what am I? I'm 6 points away from 40 quid. We've got Marquinhos playing live now, so I'm going to keep that up, and I'm going to keep an eye on as to how PSG are doing. And hopefully I can get myself, 40 quid. If he scores a 60 with the bonus on there and stuff, it should secure me 40 quid. And I wouldn't mind that coming into the account, because at the moment my account is a little bit brassic. So that's the only lineup that I really got running, because although saying that, these guys pulled out a bit of a job for me, get me like 6 quid or whatever it is over the line. Again, Bruno, Son doing the business, Maddison coming off the bench. Pedro Porro obviously didn't start as well, so he come off the bench, and we couldn't keep that clean sheet. When I say we, I do mean Spurs as well. So a little bit annoying there, because we could have cleaned up a touch, I suppose. Got myself a little bit higher, maybe on the 50s or whatever. Good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Change your scene. Yeah, what's going on, Gaza? Yeah. I mean, I've been away so long, right? Something had to change. That behind is a new little Calyx thing just from IKEA. I've got to fill it. I've got to make things look a little bit nice, but yeah, I thought I'd switch it up, So I get 6 quid coming in from here if it stays that way. And then we've got this Champions Season 1 as well. Hoffenheim have scored. That's interesting. Obviously, it wasn't my guy doing the business there in terms of Bischoff as a captain. Again, probably made the wrong decision there again. But Kramaric comes up with the assist. 15 minutes left on that. Let's hopeful Bischoff can do something. Because how many points away? I'm still 78 points away. So this started really well for me. Milinkovic-Savic. I don't understand why this guy is not worth a little bit more, to be honest with you, because his performances as a goalkeeper is just superb. Even if you just go to all, just look at how many greens there are for Torino. They're really good defensively. But anyway, he popped up with the 95, the 96. I was so tempted about putting him in to this lineup up here, which obviously in hindsight would have been a really, really good move. The only thing that put me off is obviously he's playing against AC Milan, right? And he does score, save the penalty, but him at home, he scores really, really well. And David De Gea, I don't know what's been going on with De Gea and Fiorentina at the moment, but they are just having a bit of a bad run. You know, he started the season well. Yeah, over here, a lot of green scores, and then since then he's just been absolutely shit. But they were playing Como, and I just thought, do you know what? Maybe he comes up with a clean sheet now. But anyway, and then Griezmann popped up and done something that he hasn't been doing of late. Got the 78 in there as well. And then Di Lorenzo, I was keeping an eye on this afternoon, and just, I mean, that is just shit, isn't it? Like, oh no, yeah, against Como. Sorry, it wasn't against Como. They were playing, David Gea was playing Hellas Verona, I think it was. But anyway, Di Lorenzo, just shit. And if we look at when I picked this guy up, this is a bit more frustrating, right? We come down here. I picked him up, I think it was probably after this green here. And when you look back, you think, oh yeah, you got some spikes in there. You know, some solid greens in there, I suppose, on the right fixtures. But fuck me, has he been bad? You know, been really, really bad of recent. And I paid quite a bit for him as well. So his value's just going down and down and down, just like everybody else's, which is really positive. Or not, right? And then Bischoff's coming out. He's been in decent-ish form. He's obviously signed for Bayern Munich. Signed for Bayern Munich next year. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on there. And Malou comes in as well with the all-rounder with the 0-0. So hit and miss with the rares. And this one's just an absolute write-off. He didn't even play. So is what it is, getting relegated there more than likely. And then this one as well, Dubravka lost his position to Nick Pope. But this is throwaway. You probably, and I will do a video on this, but you might be looking at my gallery and thinking, God, he's only playing a few lineups. What the hell has gone on? I've been playing 3 solid lineups for Premier League Limited for the last, well, since the season began. But I just realised that it just wasn't really where I wanted to be. So I'm going to have one lineup out for limited Premier season. I'm in Division 1 at the moment. I'm going to stay there at least for next week. And this is probably the lineup that I'm going to play week in and week out almost, if I know that Maddison's going to play. I'm going to have the Tottenham stack. Hopefully we can get the clean sheet and stuff, but I'm going to have Bruno in there as my extra. I think I've got rid of pretty much everybody else. Maybe a Spencer or a Kulusevski comes in if they keep their positions. But apart from that, it's just going to be that one lineup. But I'll go into that in more detail in an upcoming video. What's going on, John? Good evening. Are you planning on going into MLS? Mate, that is something that we're going to be talking about because I've got serious FOMO about it at the moment. And it might not be right to have that as well because the prize pool I need to look at properly. I just knew that, you know, well, let's talk about this in depth a little bit more, right? So I had predominantly, I've gone a little bit over. I'd love the Tottenham defensive stack. Must be nuts. I know, but if it works, Gaza, if it comes in, if we keep 3 clean sheets between now and the end of the year, you never know. Vicario might pull off another 100, something like that, and then we're laughing, right? But let's see. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. But a long time ago, so let's just go back here. I think it was around, where did I start doing it? You see all of this stuff here? I got rid of a load of MLS stuff. So 3 months ago, we're looking at November. Before then as well, I got rid of Andre Blake. I got rid of the Roldans. I've got rid of loads of them. Hollingshead is in there. Yamini. You've got Rosnak. You've got Evander. You've got Rossi, Carlos Hill. All of this sort of stuff. Because I was going more into champ rare, right? So I had all of these, and then what happened? Like 7 weeks later or something like that, it was announced that there's going to be a specific MLS competition. Now, I know that some people don't like the MLS, but I've loved playing the MLS since day dot on So Rare. I really enjoy the league. It just suits me in terms of the times that they play and stuff. I know it sounds a bit weird, but we've said that before about kids and whatnot. I don't really get to watch too much football over the weekend anyway. So I made the decision. I was like, do you know what? I want to play champ. I think there's more there for me. We was obviously on the off season as well, so I knew I was going to be selling at a time that you shouldn't really be selling if you want to keep your money in the game and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I got rid of all of these, and then it come out that there's going to be an MLS only competition, and that annoyed me. You know, it just seemed like fresh old Cap 240 Super Air all over again, goalposts moving. I know that there was some talk that it was going to be happening, or there was at least some ideas around there that it was going to be happening, but it was just really frustrating for me because I got rid of all of the big kind of classic players that probably would have done okay, I think, would have returned me. And obviously with the prices coming out now with the in-season cards, I reckon I could have got a couple of cards in the first few weeks, sold them and almost sort of made the money back to a point. If buts and maybes, I know, but goalposts move again, so I sell them all. So to come a long-winded way to come back to answering your question, John, is am I planning to go into MLS? I'm not planning to, but I would very much like to. I'd like to get back into it, and I am going to delve into kind of, this is what tonight's sort of stream was about. Really, I want to look at some of the players that are in the MLS that people have picked up, that are obviously flying already, that are under the valued. I want to look at the actual games themselves, see how I got on. What's going on, Wakey? And I missed your vids. I know I am going to try to be back. It's just the work's been sort of mental over the last few months and stuff. But I have recently had new internet fitted down here as well. So when it comes to like streaming and things, I'm not already like running Ethernet cables, as I said at the beginning, down from the house to like my little garden office and stuff. So it's a lot easier and quicker for me to just like open up a laptop and stuff. So I'm hoping that I can get a little bit more regular with some bits and pieces, depending if there's content to make and stuff like that. But yeah, I do want to look at the games that went on for the MLS, see who the big hitters again, and see what the prices are. I also want to look at MLS in terms of super rare as well. I know that you know, the general rule at the moment is to stay away from super rare, right? Because they don't pay out. I need to look at the prize pools because I don't know what they actually look like, and if they are obviously shit, then I'll still steer clear even. But I did see a few tweets and stuff going around that the actual super rare in seasons were cheaper than the rare in seasons, and I'm just thinking, well, you can play the super rares in the rares anyway, right? So why would you not get the super rare if you're not going for the collection and things like that? So I just want to see what the competitions are out there, what the scores sort of were, whether you just again need the big hitters, because I've sold all of them classic cards, I know. So it's a little bit annoying, but I am FOMOing a little bit with the MLS. It is a league that I enjoy playing. Unfortunately, I have not got any cards from there at the moment. So this is the MLS. So is anybody in the chat, by the way, playing MLS? Is this like a topic of sort of interest to anybody? And while we do that, let's just check today. Let's just check to see how the boys are going. So Marquinhos is already at a 49, which is decent. Yeah, try and get him up as much as we possibly can. And then hopefully I can secure that 40 quid. You are John. J HUD is my gallery if you want to take a look. Yeah, let's take a look. Why not, before we get into that. You've not bought any, was happy when MLS got its own league. I've heard, though, that some... I mean, I haven't been taking too much notice. You're on unlimiteds. But what's the prize pools like, though? You know, it's got its own league, but is it worth playing? Is it similar to some of the champ stuff, some of the Bundesliga stuff, or is it literally down the pecking order a little bit? So let's just filter and just have a look at yours. So let's go by MLS. 104 MLS cards, but let's go by, and you got your Messi in there as well. to 2025. Not even looked unless I get hooked. Yeah. You got a Cincinnati stat going on by the looks of that. I mean, to be fair, some of these cards are a bit cheaper than I thought they were going to be, like João Paulo. Did he actually did he play yesterday, by the way? We'll take a look at the games in a minute. He was on the bench, really. Is he coming back from injury or is he just not fancied anymore? Interesting. You've got a DC stack as well. Looks like you've got an Atlanta stack as well. A Seattle stack as well. Jesus Christ. A Nashville stack as well. You can't even play all these players, can you? Yeah, maybe you have gone a little bit overboard on there, John, but depends what your plans are, mate. Depends what your plans are. Let's take a look at the games then. Can we filter here by competition? Yes, we can. MLS. Fine. So the first one was LAFC and Minnesota, and I've not really been keeping up with the transfers as well, so it'd be interesting to see. Oh, Marlon's coming, is he? He was playing out in Brazil leagues, right? Last time I heard. What's going on, Liam? Welcome, mate. Not last I heard, but last I saw, should I say. Yeah, Fluminense. He was always a good scorer with them if I just go back to all as well. So I say good scorer, actually. Yeah, he was pretty shit, but at LAFC, probably be all right. Hollingshead again with a 70 in there as well. Delgado's moved from LA Galaxy, yeah? Interesting. And I knew he went, E-Bob, I knew he went from San Jose because they signed a Rango, didn't they? You've gone mainly for collection bonus, okay. As with the new system, getting XP on the cards will be difficult, so I think the collection bonus is a must. Yeah. I hear you with that. I'm quite surprised that Buanga stayed. That's interesting. And Minnesota, I mean, Ranuso is obviously not there anymore, and that just screams shit to me. I'm not going to lie. That just screams shit. So what else went on then? So Atlanta with the win at Montreal. I'm assuming Almiron is already up and running with an assist. He's moved over to the left by the looks of it. Guzan is still going. Look at him. 40-year-old. Beautiful specimen. Look at him. Coming in with some decent AA as well. So what are the prices like at the moment then for rare? We're looking at what, a 2025 card. We look, Jesus Christ. Is that what we're at? £273 for a rare Guzan. Jesus, is that what the prices really are? What's the like the kitty? Like what can you win? Is it like a couple of grand or something like that in Division 1? As I said, I'm quite out of the loop on this, but that is a mental amount. Like I'm sure well, let's just check this. I'm sure I was looking at the other day. And in season, I know there's not much left. He's gone for 244 13 hours ago. I'd sell him at 244. Oh no, that's in season, isn't it? But yeah, because I was looking at 2025. Look, Brad Guzan was more. So it's $1,000 for first in rare. I don't know. That's a little bit steep, isn't it? That is a little bit steep. What's his super rare going for? I wonder. Are they actually out yet? 2025. All right, nearly $1,000. You're going to get a season out of him. Jesus, just didn't think it was like that. What's going on, Blue Tomatoes? What's going on? Even limited Messi was over 200. Wow. Owusu, he was there last year, wasn't he? He didn't play. He didn't score great, should I say? Yeah, I've never been a fan of Montreal, so I'm not really interested in looking at them. Anyway, Cincinnati. So they've just signed Evander, right? Yep, Luca Acosta has gone somewhere else. You've got Miles Robertson in there still. You've got Yedlin still. Who was the other centre back that they had in there? The Miazda, whatever his name is, Miaz. Is he still there? Is he still there? Is the question. Well, yeah, he is, but he's injured. Oh, he's done an ACL or something. It's not great. Cincinnati, and they've got Denki as well. Yeah, I think that he's just going to be too strong for the MLS from what I saw of him when he was out in Belgium. I think he's just going to be scoring week in and week out. So Evander and Denki is going to be a really, really good stack, I think. Kubo's still getting in there as well. Yeah, not too dissimilar to last year in terms of some of the key positions in there, but obviously with Evander and Denki coming in, yeah. Is he still there? Well, he didn't play, but he scores well as well. So Cincinnati are probably still going to be right up there. And then you've got New York Red Bulls as well. So you've still got Forsberg, you've still got Lewis Morgan, Choupo-Moting. Is that a new signing this year, or did he come at the back end of last year? Because a new signing this year. I think he'll do okay as well. I think he'll do okay AA-wise. Where is that left back that used to play there? Is he gone? It wouldn't surprise me if he's gone somewhere else. It looks like he has. Yeah, he was a decent left back. Columbus Crew coming in, so high scoring game. So I've heard a lot of people back Chicago this year, or talking about them at least. So you've got Bamba coming in, obviously from Celta Vigo. He's a good signing. He's gone to Hoston Kiel. All right, fair enough. Are they getting relegated? I mean, they always seem like they're up and down a little bit. But we've got Kuipers is still there. You've got Brian Gutierrez as well. You've got Jack Elliott that's obviously made his way over. You've got a Killian Acosta, not Killian. What's his name? Keelan? Or is it Killian? And you've got Gutman as well. So Gutman's one that's always interested me. So I think that if I do end up buying in, I'm not going to have the budget to buy like some of the big boys that I did. Well, obviously when I'm solely focusing on MLS. But what you'll need is some people that spike a little bit. And, you know, if he stays fit, he can certainly spike a little bit. He would be one that I'd be interested probably at a super rare level just to see what he goes for. From challenger to champ to contender in half a season. Champ to contender. From challenger to champ to contender. What do you mean, my gallery, or have I missed something there? I'm not going to be selling my champ cards, but I'll talk. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, just in case anybody does answer, I'm not selling my champ cards to move over to MLS. It'd just be sort of extras and that on top if I can. I probably wouldn't want to buy into Chicago, though, because their keeper's probably going to be expensive, being under 23. And then you've got Columbus with a very similar back line, almost the same, really. You've got Nagby still in there doing bits, and well, you've got Rossi doing Rossi things. Obviously, they've not got Cucho this year, but it looks like they're going to be a solid outfit as well from what I can see there. DC United, I know that Click's gone somewhere. But Benteke is still leading the line, who's obviously going to score goals. Toronto is an interesting one. I think people always just try and back them a little bit. I certainly did last year with Petretta, with Johnson, with Osario, and with Insigne as well. But I had a mixed in there between Super Rare and stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get on trying to move Insigne and DC United. I don't see them doing anything this year. Into Miami. So this is the one that everyone's gone balls deep in, right? Messi with a 91 straight away. If he stays fit, he's obviously just, I mean, it goes without saying, he's just going to tear up every single game, isn't he? So wonder what did his rare go for then? His rare went for, oh, there's already 18 of them. Jesus Christ, they're cashing in as well. The lowest is £650. Somebody's buying. The highest was 992. It's a lot, isn't it? But then again, if you are going balls deep in this competition, you just have to have him in terms of that return. You just have to. Who else is in there still? Jordi Alba, you still got Biscuits as well. Fafa, so he's another one that I would look at. I don't know what this injury is actually like, but again, he has these peaks. And playing with Messi, you're going to do some bits and pieces, do you know? So what's his? So his rare card is 18, £7, £7 for that. What's his? Yeah, 150 quid. All right, so some of them are a bit of a difference. And then you got New York City. You've still got Maxi doing it in there as well, starting for them. Yeah, it's going to be a good stack, isn't it, again, into Miami. Let's just check to see how Marquinhos is getting on. So Bischoff finished with a 30. So it's annoying, isn't it? But we've got Marquinhos in there as well. So where am I in terms of this? Where am I in terms of... So I'm getting the 40 quid at the moment as it stands. 8 points away from not getting that. So I would like another sort of 20, 30 points off of Marquinhos if we can to just secure that and then put that in the kitty. Who else have we got in here? Philadelphia. So they've lost, obviously, Jack Elliott, but Glesnas is still there. You still got Andre Blake. You still got Gazdag. You got Uri. You've got Quinn Sullivan. You've got Bariba as well in there. I don't know. And Kai Wagner obviously stayed. If does anybody know if this guy is going to be starting as well? Because if he is, Philadelphia are going to keep clean sheets. So it'd be interesting. Like, he goes for £9. You know, if you did really want to get in, you could buy just like a cheapish goalkeeper, like classic, and then you could get some of these people in. But is it going to compete? Probably not, right? And that's where I'd make the... Excuse me, that's where I'd make the mistake. All right, Gary, nice to see you here, and nice that it's nice for you to see me back. But Kai Wagner's going to smash it up as well. Ajida, he's going to probably do bits. Lando's team, is it too dissimilar? You've got a sister in there who's come in. And you've got Galicia as well. Fair enough. Well, Austin with the 1-0 win. So you've got Stuva back there with a clean sheet in Cascante. That's always a decent little stack there at the back. I wonder what Cascante goes for as well. Again, it's one of those players that you could probably get in there and churn a little bit of money off. I mean, 18 quid. You are going to get some spikes out of him. And then you've got Brad Stuver in there as well, who's normally safe as houses. Sporting KC, I think that they're going to struggle. You've got Eric Tommy still there. You've got Saloy still there. But they are just not really a good watch, are they? You got a few other games. I don't know if anybody's actually interested in the MLS, but I kind of am, just to the point where I can get to see where prices are. You got Houston Dynamo, so you got Jack McGlynn going over there with Arthur. They had a really good game in there, but they still got lost. Hector Herrera. Do you know where Hector Herrera is? Anyone? And you got Nico Ladero as well coming in as the old timer in there, but could still pop off with some scores. You got Tarbell as well, who is coming. He's got an MX, has he? Yeah, it makes sense. You got Tarbell coming in there. Is Steve Clark retired then? Or has he gone somewhere else? Again, I'm not kind of close to some of this stuff. So, Dallas, not really interested in Dallas, but you have got Acosta that's gone over there. Oh, and you've got Shaq Moore as well. So he's gone from Nashville. That Dallas front line looks spicy. Yeah, Musa, I don't really... Well, obviously Acosta, but I'm sure I won this guy last year. But just sold him immediately. So I don't really know too much about him. And you got Julio in there as well. Is this guy a new signing? He's come from Real Salt Lake. Okay. I think not officially retired, but he hasn't got a club. Hey, mate, sold up, down today. Just wanted to say thank you for the chats and keep up the content. Always like your approach. Oh, nice one, Mike. So what are you stopping playing now, Mike? What's the plan, mate? But nice to have you here. Have you sold a lot of your gallery, or you always wanted to play with a smaller gallery? Oh, I have sold a lot of my gallery, but it was kind of limited stuff, which I didn't really want to get involved in the first place. And I will make a video about that in the next couple of days. And I got most success playing Sorare with a smaller gallery. And then I think I just tried to shift strategy too quickly all the time. I was like chasing the Cat 240 Super Rare. And then I wanted to go and play Prem Limited. And then I wanted to do this. And then I wanted to do that. So my current strategy, which I'm kind of going in on, and it's not been too successful just yet, is Champ Rare. So yeah, but I'm looking at MLS just because I enjoy it, right? So let's just see whether I can win some stuff, and maybe I'll get a little team together. I don't know at the moment. Yeah, you're done, Mike. Not the game I loved anymore. Do you know what? You know, I'm. It's probably a little bit of the reason why I haven't made some content and stuff like that. Is not only because I don't really know what content to sort of make, because obviously my gallery is my gallery, right? I don't want to be going out there and telling people to buy this one and doing all that sort of stuff. So it's quite difficult to make so rare content. We've spoke about like this before. Unless you've got massive sub gallery and then you have a regular, lineup building and whatnot. I don't know. And I'm a little bit like you, kind of fell out of love just because the goalposts keep moving. And obviously putting in a lot of money at the beginning, and then people might argue and just turn around and say, well, you didn't play it right, or you didn't do this right, or whatever. And I get all that. I take it on the chin, but I don't know. I know where you're coming from, is what I'm trying to say. Furpo, it sounds like you tried to adapt to the frequent so rare change. It is exactly it. And I ended up selling galleries here, moving over, and then I thought I had a strategy and I was going to wait until the MLS come back. And then I was like, no, actually, I'll play Champ. It's more for me, etc. And then all of a sudden the MLS comp come out and prices spike there. And, it's, yeah, what can I say? But Nashville is one that I would go probably straight back to. With the Lovitz and Zimmerman. You've got Jack Mayer in there as well, so it looks pretty consistent. You've got Joe Willis there between the sticks, and Surridge and Mukhtar are still there. You've got Carlos Hill still leading New England, coming in with some AA in there as well. Don't know too many of these. I think he's signed from San Jose, right? In season is too close to gambling for me. Well, the thing is, I was thinking about this the other day, right? If you look at my gallery, let me get up a new tab because I want that one open. So if you look at my gallery, these are all obviously in seasons, and I think a week after I buy them, they obviously plummet in price because we're coming to the end of the season. So there's an argument there, and I'm trying to win some stuff before it happens. But next season they're going to be a lot cheaper, right? Maybe some of the big cards like Bruno hold a little bit, maybe Højbjerg holds a little bit. But next year, yeah, it's almost like they're forcing you. No one's forcing you. I feel like it's forced to then go out there and buy some in-season cards. And unless you've had a decent season the previous season, like in-season, and win some cash, and you've held that and you can go and do that, it's then about sort of reinvesting and putting more money in. And yeah, I'm just not prepared to put any more money in, to be quite honest. Especially with the experience that I've had in the last couple of years with the goalpost moving. I still enjoy the game. I still like watching my players. I still enjoy, the chase a little bit, and it puts a little bit something on there. But gone are the days where like I was playing for a card, didn't know what I was going to be getting, and I was excited in there and to open one up, and then I open up a tier 2 and it's worth 200 quid and that sort of stuff. All of those days are gone, and I get it, but because we was used to that sort of stuff, it dies a little bit. Something dies in there. Nashville, New England, okay, nothing outrageous there. Got Kessler coming up with the what is that, a last man tackle, or is it a clearance off the line? I can never tell out of those. But you got Hartle coming in there for St. Louis, who's going to be very decent, obviously alongside Lewin and Klaus. Okay. And then Colorado's another one that I've seen a lot of people stacking, obviously with Mihailovic in there. Fair enough. Sorry to bring the mood down. It wasn't my intention. No, it's all good, Mike. You know, I've had similar people like DM me and just saying, you know, I haven't heard from you, what's going on, and that sort of stuff. So it's just, I think it's going around, right, with the people that have been around for a little while. Just hopefully we can get going a little bit more. Kerry says, if you've had a gambling problem before, I don't think Sorare is the game to play. That's fair enough. And John said, I do feel if you don't buy at the start of the season to try and get the full season return, it is difficult with the division structure, XP collections, but then Sorare benefit massively from the spending. I think that was, they obviously had somebody come in into the company or a group of people or whatever, and they totally changed their strategy because obviously in season and stuff didn't exist before, and they needed to from a business model, which isn't outrageous to say. I think everybody kind of sees that. But they needed to do something like exactly what you just said, keeps people coming back year after year, with the opportunity to buy players that are a lot more expensive than they were the year before. So it kind of makes sense. You're just playing as a hobby now, Wakey. I am as well. Before at the beginning, you know, I probably had in the back of my mind, you know, I could probably get some money out of this, but obviously goalposts kept changing. So now it's just, I've got what I've got. Let's just try and win what I can. All of the money that I put in was money I could afford to lose, fortunately. But at the same time, it's still a kick in the teeth that you are going to potentially lose it, right? But, you know, positivity, come on. I've still got some players out there. Who knows? I could be winning D1 in Rare Champ next week. Who knows? Ryan Wilson, what's going on, mate? You had a decent week. I'm sure I saw your name on a podium somewhere when I was having a look. You think the new XP system will make it slightly less important to buy cards early? Do you know what? I don't even really know. This is how bad it is. I don't even really know what the new XP thing actually is. I know that you don't have to train and stuff anymore, but can someone explain it to me in just like literally a sentence? The model is great, don't get me wrong. Second in MLS Rare Classic, very lucky. Listen, mate, we all need a little bit of luck sometimes. San Jose Earthquake. So this is one of the teams that has been on my radar from the moves that they've made. Obviously, Arango coming in. You got Espinoza, which has always been a decent Sorare scorer. You got Rodriguez as well, and you've got Daniel. So you look there, you've got 4 players. So when I come back to like what I said at the beginning about my Tottenham stack, where I had the 4 and just an extra, that is a very strong 4 for San Jose. I wouldn't want to put anybody else in there, so I'd probably go out and get somebody else. Maybe a Pellegrino if he could turn up this year. But this is a team that I'm kind of looking at if I did want to buy back in to MLS at some point. Real Salt Lake, not, but Pablo Ruiz looks like he's back. So it'd be interesting to see what his first price went, just out of curiosity. He's only £43. Last sale was 37 minutes ago at 34. You know what? He scores well when he's fit, and it looks like he is fit. So interesting. Just catch up with chat. Winning XP as a reward is a bit of a piss take in my opinion. Is that what actually happens? So XP, you have to get below 30% score, I believe, to get the XP. So outside cash, if you win cash, you don't get XP. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Seattle Sounders, obviously a team that I'm very, very familiar with. I think I've owned, apart from the wingers, I've owned every single card in this lineup. And they've got Jesus Ferreira and Paul Areola as well. Yeah, they're going to have another strong season, I think. Yep, they're going to have a strong season, aren't they? We know that. The other stack that I've looked at before in the past was Malanda and Kalina. So it looks like they come up sort of trumps a little bit here as well. So that is interesting. But Charlotte are normally okay defensively from a stack. And then this one is kicking off in, 20 minutes time. Portland, I'm not interested in them without Evander. So let's just see how they get on. Diego Chara is still going at 38, still in that centre mid position. And then we've got Vancouver as well. Ryan Gold, Brian White as a decent link up. Takioka is a decent keeper as well. I quite fancy Vancouver to win that game. And then we've got another game tomorrow night, right? So, yeah, interesting. So a few changes in there for some of the MLS teams that I'm not sort of aware of. But what I would like to look at is what the scoring's been like. Am I right in saying that you cannot get to the leaderboard in here anymore unless you play the competition? It'd be interesting if someone could let me know. In my honest opinion, they've ruined training for players with a lot of players. Afraid if you don't, so no XP for a player, you don't line up. $7, $50 for essence. What does that? So I'm guaranteed. What does that mean? Is this changed? So I'm guaranteed to get 4 essence. So I don't get a box anymore. Is that right? Again, out of touch. Sorry, guys. You'll have to educate me. So I'm finishing. So this is D2 in season champ, and at the moment I'm in a position where I get 4 essence. Yeah, they remove boxes from a lot of competitions. Right. So what's this thing here underneath this 500? I don't know if you can see it. If I can zoom in or something. But what is that? 500. Is that level ups or something? Fuck me. I need to catch up, don't I? Big time here. Looks like training XP. Jesus Christ. See what I mean? I'm out of the I'm not out of the game because I've been playing it for the last 2 months, but because I've not been all over it, it's just all of a sudden like everything's changed again. It's the only thing that's annoying me at the moment. The interesting part with XP is players who win a lot at the start won't have high XP players because you don't win XP if you win something. Okay. So further in the season, they could be passed by galleries who won XP. Oh, I don't fucking know. Anyway, so this is what I'm saying. I've bought a few players, obviously, over the last few weeks. Tried to bring in some of the big sort of smashers that budget allows. You know, not the high end, but sort of high end players like a Marquinhos and like a Elise Malou and a Kyrie. I know I'm butchering the names and stuff. Obviously got Bruno, got Højbjerg in there as well. And it's worked out all right-ish. I haven't won too much, the 40 quid here and there, but I have got about £90 in my account at the moment. And this is my shortlist. So it'd probably help actually if I just showed you per position. Championo and rare. So these are my goalkeepers. I've got Majecki, no backup, Milinkovic-Savic and his backup, and David Gea and his no, and then I had Juve, but recently sold him and had his backup. So yeah, 3 starting goalkeepers and 2 random sort of backups to a point. Then defender-wise, I've got, and bearing in mind I'm playing 3 lineups here, it has crossed my mind whether to actually sell one of those lineups and just play 2 lineups and reinvest that into some bigger players. So we'll come on to that in a minute, and it'd be good to get your guys' opinion on this as well. But defenders-wise, I've got starting down here. So these 2, I mean, I can't even give them away to a point. Kenny Lala in there, who's coming back into a little bit of form. You've got Akuma in there because I had Juve as the goalkeeper, but he's a really good Sorare scorer, actually. If we just go to all, you can see that he scores a lot of greens. I know that was in a different league, but he does rack up some very, very high AA at given times. You know, a 40 there, a 25, a 19, which is all right. And he's a threat in the box. So I've kept him around because he can play in that sort of second team, third team, depending on the fixture. You've got Gozens in there who links up with David De Gea. Pinnock, who as soon as I bought him had that big injury, so he's been out a little while, but he does spike again in certain areas. So that was the sort of the team 3 that I was looking at. But then we've got Marquinhos, then we've got Di Lorenzo, and then we've got I don't even know how to say it. Carrere, I don't know, that guy at Monaco. So they were my like 3 big hitters to a point, but Di Lorenzo has just been an absolute pile of shit since I got him in. Midfielders, I've got Pierre-Louis Milau, and then we got Teji in there as well for a budget option for 14 quid. I think he does, if he's scoring 80 every other week, that's fine for me. Tom Bischoff as well, got him for quite cheap. I've had him for quite a while. Again, look at these spikes. So I'm happy with that. Moving to Bayern, I don't know how he's going to get on there, but we'll see. Højbjerg, we know what Højbjerg can do, but I bought him and then he had a patch. It might have been, I don't know, I might have bought him around here. And this patch here is not amazing. And he's just started to pick it up. But obviously they got battered last night to Auxerre as well. So, yeah, Højbjerg's in there. And then we've got Bruno. And then we've got Harit, who doesn't even play anymore. And then we've got Teddy Tuma, who is basically shit at Rems as well. So, midfielders, I can chop and change, but I'm only playing 3 lineups. So I can kind of get away with it. And then forwards, I just recently sold Iwobi. And a couple of others, hence why I've got that 90 quid in there. So we've got Simon, who I think is the best bang for buck out there in terms of a champ striker. You look at that in terms of AA as well, in terms of taking the set pieces. Yeah, I'm happy with him for that price. And then we've got Junior Ito as well. They've just been having a really sort of bad run of form. You can see here they haven't won in 10 games that look like. But this is what he can do here. These greens, he takes their set pieces, I like it. I like him. But look at these scores in recent weeks. It's been killing me. Now, he has got quite a tough run in, which don't look great. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Maybe he comes in that third lineup. And then we've got Griezmann in there as well, who was aimed to play in that 1 and 2 lineups in terms of Div 1, Div 2, if I'm in there. The annoying thing is that I can't play him with Bruno. So if I would have played him with Bruno this time around, we would have been on for even bigger things. So I wouldn't say that the champ gallery is amazing at the moment. So I do need to spend that 90 quid, I think, between now and the end of the season to bring some players in. I've got 1 exceptional goalkeeper in my opinion, 1 decent, and then 1 that's distinctly average. As I said, I've got a couple of defenders in there as well. But so this is what I've been looking at. What divisions are you in? I am in D1, D2, and D2. But I think 1's being relegated. So D1, D2, D3 is going to be. So having sold Iwobi as the forward, like the Fulham. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let me just put him back in as the Fulham forward. I think I am missing another forward, so probably need to get somebody in. Hence my poll the other day on Twitter, or on X, whatever it's fucking called. But this is my watch list, and this has been my watch list for quite a long time, and it's a little bit frustrating because some of these players that are on here have smashed since I got them on my watch list, and they've like tripled in price. But I didn't go for it. Is it worth sacking off Div 3 then and boosting your Div 1? Yeah, that's kind of what I mentioned, John. I think that might be entering in my head to do that. Maybe getting rid of De Gea as a goalkeeper and a couple of the other sort of fringe players in there. I might have to keep 1 or 2 to plug them in just in case. But Wissa, I'm probably not going to pick him up anymore, so let's just remove him. I don't really want the premium not premium players in the Prem, but in terms of a price, I could probably pick up somebody a lot cheaper and does the same thing. Milou, I've already got him, so let's just take him out. So this was a classic example. So I spotted this guy about here, I think around this 60, and I was looking, he was taking set pieces and Auxerre were doing okay, and you know, he was getting some AA as a forward, etc. And I thought, do you know what, he'd be a decent pickup. And then all of a sudden he started doing this and this, peaked at this 100, went up in price, didn't pick him up, and then he come back down a little bit, and then look what his form is there as well. So I know he's not the out and out kind of amazing forward that you want to plug into your D1 lineups and stuff, but I could have been a little bit smarter in terms of picking him up, maybe selling him, getting some more cash into the gallery. But hey ho, I'm not going to be picking up Lennon anymore. Leno, sorry, he's been around for a little while. Lo Celso still interests me, but I want to know where he's going to be playing, if he is going to be playing week in and week out at Betis. Mbumo does interest me, even though he is Prem, because he scores really well, right? So I'll just leave him in there to monitor price. Bowman, I'm not going to be picking up anymore. Hoppenheim, absolutely dog shit this year. This is another one, a classic example, exactly what I've just said about Perrin. I noticed this guy here, I think this 69 back here. I knew that Mamouche, if I've said that name right, was potentially going to somewhere. There was talk around him all the time, and I was like, do you know what? Nathaniel Brown actually takes some of their set pieces. And then look what happens with some of his scores. You know, I'm just saying I told you so to myself, basically, but it's so frustrating. I've got Rulli in there as a goalkeeper. I'll probably keep because I am on this sort of Marseille thing at the moment. Jubal is another one. Again, that Auxerre thing that I was looking at. Look at his score since. Again, it was probably around about here that I was looking at this guy because he takes their penalties. He's decent in terms of like inside the box. He's decent in terms of AA as well. Didn't pick him up and it was about fucking £7. And I don't know what he's going for now. I mean, it's only £19, right? But you look at his fixtures. He's got Strasbourg, all right, Reims, fine. Nice, all right, another one in there. Oh, it's not too sad, I suppose. Maybe he's still worth a pickup. Maybe he is. I don't know. He stays on there for the moment anyway. You've got his super. Yeah. I bet he's won you some stuff, right? Recently. Got Isco in there as well. So coming back from injury. He's doing okay. He's scored 2 goals today. Very, very decent. Taking set pieces. And Klaus is another one. He's been on my fucking watch list for so long. Because what he can do, and look what I was going to buy him this week, by the way, to take the place of Marquinhos, which I was just talking about a minute ago. I was going to buy him this week. I had an offer rejected 10 minutes before the deadline for about 7 or 8 quid more than what he's gone for in previous weeks, and he comes out for 100. The guy didn't accept it, obviously, but yeah, he's still there as well. He's already bought him, so let's take him off. I'm not going to buy that guy anymore because I was just monitoring him. I was having a little look at Maddison. I know it's hard to tell whether he's going to be playing or not, but I was having a little look at him. Having a look at him as well from defender in the Bundesliga. He's been playing really well as of recent weeks and got an okay run. Leaving him in there. Stiller, he's a little bit more of a premium one, but this is another guy who's a forward and he's smashing it to a point, like from a team that he plays with, but he did come off injured, and I'm probably not going to get him over others in there. So let's just remove him and clear that watch list. Who else is on here? You got Torvin, playing out in Syria. So a reason why he's been on there is because most of this stuff, most of his games, has decent AA. And when he has decent AA, and if he gets that decisive, obviously he's 70 plus. So I've been looking at him, but I'd probably get Aspas if I was to get that kind of player in. Yeah, he gets decent. He's just coming back from injury. He gets decent AA as well, and we know that he takes their sets, most of their sets. So yeah, 2 that I didn't cover is this guy who's obviously just signed for Marseille, had an amazing first couple of games and then peaked in price. I think AA wise, he's always going to be really strong, but he's quite expensive. And then lastly, to go through the whole list almost, is Barco as well. I don't think he's taking their set pieces, but he's one that I want to keep an eye on at Strasbourg, to see whether he's week in and week out and does take some of them set pieces. So with all that being said, how many people are on this now? 27 players. It can't be 27. Surely not. Okay, I just took that 5 off. Anyway, yeah. So coming back to your point, John, earlier is like, or again, what sort of triggered me to come on here is to talk to you guys and see what you guys think. But you know, where do I go from here a little bit? Do I, as you suggested, you know, sell that third sort of team? You know, David De Gea. I'll probably sell. Let's just go through who I would actually sell. And this is going from 3 teams to 2, by the way, to buy better players for those 2 lineups, obviously, because it has been sort of niggling at me whether to do this. So we've got, I would probably sell if this was the case. I might have to keep him because of my midfielders, but I'd probably sell. There's no point in selling Pinnock because he's £3. Not Bischoff, not Højbjerg. I mean, he's £3 as well. I mean, Gozans and De Gea would go. Akumu is £5. Like, why would I bother selling him? Maybe Kenny Lala goes. Like, is that it? You know, what's Guzan's going for? Like, say £7. He goes for, I could probably get what, £100 in if I'm pushing it. £100 in, and then I've got £90 in there, so £190. I'll go out there and get some big players. I'll probably sell Savanier actually as well on top of that, because if you look at my midfielders, if I'm only playing 2 lineups, then Malou, Bischoff, Højbjerg and Bruno are going to be playing there, right? But then I can't play Griezmann with Bruno, so they're in opposite lineups every given week, which is annoying. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the strongest gallery. This is what annoys me as well, is that if I was looking at this, I don't know, 2 years ago when I was playing, this gallery would probably be worth, I don't know, about £8 or something stupid. And instead, it's not. It's not worth that. And that, you know, it's fine to a point because you just got to get over it sometimes and stuff. But back when I was winning, you know, Rare Pro, and you know, I was getting Bellinghams and all of this sort of stuff in, like it was a big deal, if you know what I mean. Having a small gallery and then winning big, but the small gallery you had was quality, and I kind of just chopped and changed, as I've already mentioned, throughout the whole Sorare journey. And now I look at this, and then I've shortened this by champ players, and I'm just a bit like, you know. But yeah, I don't know. What would you guys do? What do you think? Would you just carry on playing with the 3 divisions and just buy a couple of players to sort of strengthen it? Or, I don't know, would you just not bother buying anyone in the first place and just selling them and going the MLS or something? I don't know. What would you do? Let's just take a look at the live games as well. See if Marquinhos has done anything since. All right, so PSG are 1 up. He's on a 58 pointer. If they get the clean sheet in a minute as well, he's going to go up. I should hopefully have secured that £40. Hakimi again with a goal. I personally think you go all in on one team for D1 with depth. Yeah, but the thing is with that, if you do that, John, obviously goalkeeper wise, right? So you've got a handcuff, you've got to buy the number 1 and the number 2, but it's got to be good enough for a team that's going to be getting clean sheets, I think. So who would that be? It's the first question that comes to mind. And then, well, I don't know. You almost then got to just change the whole galleries, right? Like if I sold Ito and Griezmann, kept Simon as like the backup for what you're saying with a bit of depth, who would be the forward that comes in? It would probably be, and this is a guy that I was thinking about picking up anyway, would link with Højbjerg, is Guri at Marseille, but we'll come on to that in a minute. Then I'll play Guri, Højbjerg, probably Bruno in there. I'd probably keep Malou. I don't really want to keep Bischoff for the price, just lingering about there. So he probably goes. Defenders wise, I would want to keep Tilo. And I'd want to keep Marquinhos. I could probably get rid of Di Lorenzo. It's just annoying that it's already like half the price. He's just gone. Yeah, you could sell the others for like pittance. Maybe keep Akumu just because, I don't know, for some reason I like him. So you'd have that, and then you'd sell two of your goalkeepers. So De Gea would go. If I'm keeping Tilo, then Majecki would probably stay, even though Milinkovic-Savic is probably the better keeper. But that's for one lineup. I don't know how I feel about playing one lineup. I don't know. Kerry says, have you taken a huge chunk out of Sorare? Didn't you used to have a stacked MLS-based team? I did, Kerry. But about 6 weeks before Sorare announced that there was a new MLS competition, I sold them all. I sold them all for... I sold a big chunk of them for Bruno, actually, to come in at that price. I'll show you the trade. So at the time, like it was a decent trade. Obviously, you're looking at these players now, and you're looking at Rusnak, you're looking at, the floors. What is it? Cash and floors is 600 and something pounds. I think that the floors are a little bit inflated though. Evander's not going to be going for that, is he? Oh, he is. Yeah, but no one knew. No one knew that was coming. That's what I mean. The goalpost move again after I've made my move. That moves. So it's like on the day it was very similar because I was moving into champ, and now you look at it and you just think, oh, that was probably stupid to do, because this lineup of a Fryer, Rossi, an Evander, a Rusnak, or whoever, or a Carlos Hill, or whatever, with a defender in there, is probably going to win me some of the stuff, especially with the XP that I add on them in the classic competitions. So yeah, lost out a little bit, but I haven't got those anymore. Yeah, somebody come back as well and said to me that they'd pay €80 for this guy, for Bruno. Is he having a winder? Oh, okay. Well, even still, what's it like in euros? You'd pay €80. You know. John says, I just think for your time left in season and having your 1D1 utilising your gallery funds towards making a big push aiming for that podium could be a better return. Do you know what? It's not a bad idea, is it? To be quite honest. Let's do a little poll. I like doing a little poll when I'm on here. So let's add in start a poll. Do I sell most rares to go for one team in champ rare? Hopefully it's the one each week. Yes or no? Start the poll. Let's go. I don't even know if that sentence makes sense. All right, 2-0 PSG. Marquinhos is up to the 70. Who scored the second goal, please? Dembele. All right, I missed that. So where does that leave me in? Who else is playing tonight, by the way? Anyone got anyone running that they're looking forward to getting them a reward? Real Sociedad are 1-0 up. Aaron Bura, I sold him. Oh, he's back, is he? Interesting. How long's he been back for? A couple of games, already assisting a goal. Yeah, it's decent. All right, so looking at that poll, 75% so far are saying no. Don't sell your heirs. Go D1. I think you are right in terms of, consolidating a little bit. You've got João Neves in your rare lineup. How's he getting on? Oh, you need a little bit of work from him, don't you? What's left? Half an hour still. Fabian Ruiz. He's a good player, isn't he? He's a very good player. Marquinhos at the 86. Fuck me, where's he just jumped up from? 86? What's he done? Has he just got a decisive action or something? 2 attempted assists as well. A double clean. I don't know, but I'll take it. Don't know where that leaves me. Sorry, results. That pretty much secures me the £40, I would have said. Yeah, I would have said. What's really annoying is if I did not captain Højbjerg and I captained Bruno, it would have been more. And also, check this out. So, it was 0-0. And what minute do you think Hellas Verona scored? Just the 95th minute. How filth is that? Oh, the 95th minute. That is fucking filth, isn't it? Because if he kept it, that was another 40 points he would have got there, by the way. Another 40 points. And if I captained Bruno, I think I worked it out earlier, it would be like another 25 points or whatever. So let's call it another 60 points in total. Another 60 points would get me up to in the top 20. There we go. If, buts, maybes. What can you do? Is what it is. Is what it is. I'll keep that up though, just to see if anybody wants to have a look. The other thing that I was thinking as well here is when I was thinking back to like the successes that I used to have on Sorare, which is obviously few and far between now. But when I used to think about it, I had a lot more. What's the word? I had a lot more sort of like a defensive stack, an attacking stack, maybe a midfielder and a defender that shared sets on the same team and that sort of stuff. I had a lot more of that going on. But now when we look at my teams, just to go back onto that screen a little bit, these are all individuals. So for this to pull off, even though, I'm getting 430 odd points or eventually or whatever, which is good, and they're all kind of smashers, or they can be smashers. I feel as though like I'm up against it straight away because if like Højbjerg, like let me go back to Marseille. So I've been looking at Marseille. I was looking at them all season actually, but let's just go back to, I don't know why I've just went around it that way, but let's just go to Højbjerg. So this game here, if I had a Højbjerg linked up with one of their forwards, which is probably Guri, because Greenwood is too expensive anyway. But look at that. I've got 2 assists and 2 goals. They can assist and score, each other. If they've got a good game, which they did have a good game here, obviously they're more likely, and they're a dominant team in that league, they're more likely to do something. But I haven't. Synergy is maybe the word that I was looking for. Now, obviously with the Spurs limited thing, I'm a little bit more happy with this because you know, if Spurs do pop off against Ipswich and Porro and Maddison actually started, with just one coming in like a Bruno, somebody who's just a smasher week in and week out, normally, I mean, I'm on for a good run. You look at this team, they're 5 individuals again. There's no synergy between these. I only got a defensive stack. I've got the midfield and the forward stack. Again, they're all individuals, which you're spreading over 5 different games for something like this to happen. So the only one that kind of have is this one here with Majeki and Tilo, and Majeki's only just come into the gallery because of this reason, like a week ago or 10 days ago or whatever it would be. Junior Ito, I did have him paired with Teddy Tuma at the beginning of the season, but obviously Teddy Tuma has just been pretty poor. So yeah, that bothers me a little bit. And when I was going through and I was looking at it, I mean, we've just done that exercise pretty much, right? Where we was looking at my gallery as to what to do with it. Like, I don't know why I'm going MLS. See, that's a habit, that is, from old. A habit from old. When you look at this now, it's just individuals. And what teams do I go to for champ? You know, maybe the ideal team. I know that this is, I'm going to go into a lineup builder here, but I know that people are going to be playing random teams and stuff, so I'm not doing it for that reason. But let me just go to add a new draft, the future. So let's try this out. So what would my ideal sort of champ lineup be? Putting away fixtures, and I know you can't really do that because fixtures come into it, right? But in terms of that synergy, it would be Majeki. It would probably be that for the stack. It would probably be Højbjerg along with Guri, who obviously I haven't got, and then either a Marquinhos comes in or obviously the Bruno card that I've got, which he isn't playing this week. So Bruno comes in. So I've got two teams at least sort of stacked, from a midfielder and a forward, and from a defender and a goalkeeper, and then Bruno coming in there as well. Maybe the second team after that. So this is where it's probably we're talking about. So let me just save that. I haven't got either, have I? Let me flip forward another week so I can get Bruno in there as well. So it would be Jackie, it would be him, it would be him, it would be, I haven't got that card, but it would be Højbjerg, right? So Guri's in there as well. So then maybe in this team, so Guri, I could, if I put 20 quid in, I could probably buy now in terms of his price, but I don't really want to be doing that. But say I sold somebody for 20 quid. And then in here, I haven't got any sort of defender to go with Milinkovic-Savic. So it's either you sell him and then pair up. Now, the other defender that I'd want to play in almost week in and week out, right, is Marquinhos. Now, if you do that, you've got and you want that synergy and you want that stack at the back, I've got to go out and get Donnarumma. And I don't really want to be doing that and paying that type of money, when actually, when you look at his performances, you look at him for that, and then you look at, where was I in the lineup builder? Don't want any of this. Don't want any of this. Don't want that. Was I in here? I wasn't, but I can get to it from here. And then you look at Milinkovic-Savic against him. Much better card for me, in my opinion. So there's no synergy there in terms of a stack for defensive, but then maybe we could have it going forward. Now, Bischoff, actually, I said that he's going sort of nowhere earlier. I wouldn't touch on a rotation roulette. Yeah, exactly. And yeah. Like, he's got the next 3 games for Bischoff is really good. Really good. I mean, apart from that, I mean, maybe this is a position where I could get in another forward and something link, and then have maybe Griezmann goes. What's he actually going for at the moment? He's classic card, like 40 quid. Maybe Griezmann goes. Maybe Ito's there as a backup. Maybe Simon's there as a backup. Maybe Bischoff does go. Or if he's staying, you got no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. Like, part of me just feels like, what the fuck am I doing anyway? You know what I mean? Like, what am I trying to get out of this? I'm trying to go for the jackpot. That's what I need. I need a couple of podiums to even just pay off like a bit of the gallery and get me either set for next year or get that little bit of buzz. But like, what am I even doing? What am I doing? Someone tell me, what am I doing? I think even if I was to take the approach of going balls deep if I can on D1, right? Who is the striker to go and get? Because my strikers are not good enough. My midfielders can get by a little bit, and I've got one or two defenders in there. So my forwards is where I'm lacking. So who would I go out there and get, realistically? Thinking about the synergy and things like that, that's why Guri has come to mind, right? Played the last 5, all leagues, champ. Let's show the floor price as well. Obviously, I'm not going to go out there and get a Salah. Now, you could go out there and get a classic card, like a Dembele. You could go out and get a classic card. £150. But then that limited me because I'm going to be keeping Bruno. So it has to be an in-season card. Maybe we could look at a Cherky. Rodrigo, I'm not going to be able to afford any of these guys. Any of these. Nope. Not even. He was on my shortlist, so we look at him. Aspas was, but he's if you've got unlimited funds, right? But look who's in there. You've got Perrin in there. You have got Aspas in there. You've got Moses Simon in there. Gesand would probably be another one that could potentially come in, and maybe the synergy that I'm talking about comes from a Klaus and a Bolker in terms of that link. But apart from that, like who am I missing here? That's an in-season card that I could get in for a decent price. That's going to give me sort of decent returns. Who plays for a team that's going to be scoring multiple decisive? Am I missing somebody? Because I can't seem to see them. I mean, Lookman would be a decent shout, but I know that he's leaving at the end of the season. So there isn't anybody, right? So let's just park Aspas for a minute. From what I'm left with, in terms of like what I'm willing to pay, sorry, is either this guy who links nicely with a card that I've already got, and his in-season card at the moment is going for, I mean that's 180, but he was up for £108, so you could probably get him for around about there when the game week's finished or something. You've got, pick the wrong one. You've got this guy who consistently scores. Apart from this 52, or maybe there's a 28 in there as well. What's his price going for? You've got his last sale was like 80 quid, so I could afford him. Or Cherky, what's his in season? That's 186. A dominating team. But who knows where he ends up next year? It doesn't even matter. But what it does in terms of is he going to play week in and week out? And then you've got, I'd say Gessan probably leaves at the end of the year, so maybe that's out of the question. So it leaves me with Mika Bireth, who's just joined Monaco, so I know he's at least going to be there. Playing for a dominant team. Scored 2 hat-tricks already since he's been at Monaco. And his in-season price is £70. Obviously plays with the same team as, when I was talking about before, he plays at Monaco with my goalkeeper and stuff. So it comes down to these two, really. I think. Am I missing anyone, guys? Considering that they can't be classic. Because I've got that Bruno. Bruno. Look at Marquinhos. Look at him. What an athlete. 87. I still don't know what he done. Because he was on 70 something and just got this massive boost. Was it a triple? No, it wasn't. I don't know where it come from. But fair play. I mean, what about him? How much is he in seasons? Probably a lot, right? He's in what? He's in season for Napoli is 127. But pretty much going to come off back-to-back hundreds at PSG. So since he's been at PSG, and let's have it right, I'm really focused on the league at the moment. Playing for a dominating team. He's probably going to have some rest around here, so it's... And then Marseille. I think with PSG, it's always the rotation, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I suppose that is the risk. That is the risk, yeah. I don't know, I'm just left with these guys, aren't I? Guri was taking... I just think that this guy has to be the one. He's just signed for them. He's taking some of their set pieces. I think he has to be the one. And if he comes in, then I've got the Monaco defensive stack and I've got a Marseille attacking stack with an extra in there. Now that could win D1, right? Coming back to John, I don't know if you're still in here, but that could win D1, yeah? Aramburu with the assist. I sold this guy, I had him. And since I've sold him, he's had 3 green scores. Fuck me. Maybe I'm just not good at this game, guys. Does anyone else think that? You just sit there sometimes and like refresh Sorare and just think, I am shit at this game. But maybe John's right. You'd have thought you'd start most games though, yeah. I agree. I don't see anybody else in here for in-season, so yeah. That'd probably be it. Selling De Gea and whatnot and going from there. What actually took a huge chunk out, and again, there's going to be a video about this in the next couple of days, is that limited stuff that I've done when I spent like a lot of money on limited cards, and limited is just not where I personally want to play, and I just got caught up with it all. I think just if buts and maybes, as I said. John says, I think that you could get a win in D1 with the games upcoming. Would be very competitive. I mean, the other thing is that I haven't really got to sell to get that guy in, have I? To be honest, because I've got the other 4 cards. I've got the Monaco stack, and I've got Højbjerg, and I've got Bruno. So I wouldn't have to sell. It's just, what else would I do with that money if I went from 3 to 2? You'd then probably, as I said, I'd make maybe about 120 quid to try and strengthen that second lineup, which would be Milinkovic, Savic, Marquinhos, and then Bischoff, maybe Malou in there as a bit of backup for both. So you'd need another striker in there because Junior Ito or Moses Simon and Junior Ito, maybe you just swap them two guys. And then maybe I need another top midfielder. Let's have a look. But if I'm going to do something, I think I've got to do it before next game week, because there's about 12 game weeks left or whatever. And if I'm realistically going to be getting something and knowing that next year they're all going to be classic cards, so really, I've always had in my head, like, when you come into classics, you've just got to have the best. I found that with the MLS stuff last year, even though there wasn't an in-season classic, you've just got to have the best cards. And it sounds so obvious, right? But you've just got to have the best. Also, if you think back to how you used to pay, you'd focus on Rare Pro and was successful. Not all the teams, it seemed. Just be careful, cup games next week for Prem anyway. Yeah, I don't think I would buy a rare champ Prem player, Gaza. I just think that you can get sort of better elsewhere from, especially in the French league. Like, you look at the difference between Vitinha, Turkey goal. All right, he's going for £200 there. He wasn't a few weeks ago though. He was going for about 50 quid less than that. Vitinha versus the Bruno cards. There's not too much difference between them. This guy just fucking eats up AA as well. But I don't think he's going to be at Strasbourg next year. Stiller's another one. He pops up all the time. And he's got take set pieces. Got these big spikes. Another 74 with 39 AA today. But again, it needs to be somebody, I think, that comes in when it's got that really good link, the midfielder and forward. Turkey goal. Turkey goal. I didn't even know that Lyon were playing tonight. Did I just skip over them earlier? Well, what are they playing then? Oh, PSG. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Marquinhos has come down, but I should still secure that 40 quid. I suppose he's the other one though, is to think about, isn't he? That's been a long day, mate. Honestly, this weekend, my kids have been a fucking handful. Honestly, it's been hard work this weekend. So I'm here now, and I said to my wife, I'm just going to come down here and just think about something else rather than, can I have more food? Can I have drink? I'm hungry. Do this for me. Do that for me. I want to go here. I want to go there. No, you can't. Stop fighting with your brother. You know, this one, do this. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's been a lot. But Cherky is another one. I mean, I don't think he goes for this 186. I think it is more like the 150 mark. So he could be somebody that comes in. If I was to like sell, you know, David De Gea, for example, he comes in with the cash that I've already got. There was talk that he's going Dortmund. Has anybody heard rumours about where is that actually true, or is that just they're going to try and keep hold of him, or what? You've got his celebration card. Of course you have, Gaz. Gaz, you fucking got everyone, mate. But yeah, I heard he's going Dortmund, which wouldn't be a bad move. I see him starting there week in and week out, at least. You know. Now, if he did go to Dortmund, because I have to think about next year as well. I said it earlier. I know that I'm going to have these cards. I know they're going to plummet in price. I know all of that. But where are they going to go that when I'm playing Classic, he's going to do well? Adeyemi's been trying to leave, surely. And, I mean, he's much better than Reina, isn't he? Gittins. Yeah, and even if he does there, I wouldn't mind a stack in there as well. If Pascal Gross obviously stays, which I think he will, as somebody who's in there, you got Schlotterbeck as well. So he can only go to a decent place. Yeah, exactly that, John. He can only go to a decent spot, really. So what we're saying is, does anybody use like watch list like properly, if that makes sense? Because I don't know why I'm doing it by rare. Because you can get carried away, can't you, and just start adding fucking shit ton of people. Let's have it right. Let me just check Mbeumo's price for a minute. So he was going for 90 quid. I think that is a bit of a decent pickup for £90. A player of that sort of quality who's not going to be at Brentford, in my opinion, next year. I think he goes somewhere. He could even fill Salah's spot, you know, at Liverpool if he don't stick around. I'm not going to get Torvin, so let's just clean this up a little bit. I'm not going to get him either, and I'm not going to get Dux. So I'm not going to pick up him anymore as well, so he can go. So if we move to this new model, this new approach of 2 teams. Yeah, Aspas. So the only reason Aspas was there, and I'm kicking myself a little bit for this, right? I did spend a little bit of time. You know when I said about picking up Klaus for this game week, because I wasn't sure that Marquinhos was going to start, considering the Champions League stuff and everything. I was looking at another defender to come in who had a good fixture, which was Klaus, but also that crossed my mind was Marcus Alonso, who got 100 as well. Because if you look at, he didn't cross my mind, but I did hold him at the beginning of the year playing the La Liga competition. But if you look at, let's just go with Guaita for now, but just look at their next run of fixtures. So they had Osasuna, which obviously they had a very good game, pretty much everybody. Got Girona, who don't worry me, to be honest. They're not as good as they used to be. But then they've got 4 to 5 games there that I would fancy them to do well in. So that's why he was on there. He's like, can I plug him in, and then sort of sell at the end of it? That was my thinking, alongside Marcus Alonso as well. But that was why he was there. So I'm not against that plan. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not going to get him, Mbeumo. I'm not going to get him because as I said, it's about the synergy stuff, right? So it does leave me with those 4. Aspas is a bit of a wild card, right? But the other 3. I'll tell you what, this is another thing that's floated past my mind. So I have gone really, like, I'm playing Champ, but I'd say 70% of my cards are actually the French League, Ligue 1. Do you think that, knowing my track record, where everything that I've done has then changed either the week after or whatever, with Cap 240 Super Rare and with the MLS competition and with other shit that's happened in the past as well, do you think that Ligue 1 could go away from Champ? I'd be interested to hear what you guys think on that. Because I'm sure it's the top 5 leagues, right? That make up Champ. Yes, 99%. What, you think that they could? See, that worries me as well, right? Because then if they do, and they move over to Challenger, well, half of my fucking team it just goes to shit, right? To a point. Who are the top Italy is the odd one out. Do you know how many licenses they have? This is something that's never really made sense to me as well, because I can't bother to sit there and understand it. But all this licenses stuff, well, like what? How does that even work? Um, and what would it be? Would it be like FIFA league rankings or something? Oh no, you think they get their own league, like the Premier League? So you think that they at least okay? This it's not as bad. Um, how do I get like the top? Is it one football? I think because they don't have the full league, they can't do it. I don't know if I'm on the right thing here, but how do you get just the official sort of hierarchy, but like Prem and La Liga and Bundesliga, etc.? Is it UEFA country coefficients? Oh, okay, maybe this is it. Here we go. Right. See, look, that is interesting. You've got season. What's it by season? What's this mean by season? So in 24, there's 3 out of 7 clubs in UEFA competitions, I'm assuming. So that means that they get that point. So the Netherlands is right behind them in terms of points. They have the full league now, don't they? Could be wrong though. Well, that would be interesting. So if we just do it by this, look, if you look at this with France coming in here, Netherlands is right behind them, 66 points, 70 points. So sure, Portugal is 5th now. That's what I mean. Like, do you think that say Portugal or Netherlands or whatever, that say some of their clubs go further in these European competitions, and say France moves from 5 to either 6 or 7? Does that how does that impact Champ on Sorare? Because what I don't want to be doing is next year playing Champ or playing Challenger. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that next year. Knowing Sorare, they will change it all again. Well, that's the point, Wakey. It's just like anything I seem to do just gets fucked, to be brutally honest. What am I doing? I'm going into pro. I don't know what I can check in here, but how do I get their licensed like clubs, if that makes a difference? So rare football licensed. What is so rare? Can't see a French company moving League One's Challenger. Yeah, but I don't know if they've got a choice. Like, did they ever come out and say the top 5 leagues in the world will be our champ? Have they ever come out and said anything like that? I don't see how the French league could be put with Dutch and Portugal players from their move to the French league. I think it could be Premier League, Bundesliga, Liga, and SPL join Challenger, but Italy, I'm not sure what they do with them. Yeah, I don't know where to find out like whether they've said anything about that. Champion leagues. What competitions are opened? Okay, so this says at least 10 licensed teams must participate for the competition to be officially opened. Right, so that's in the competition. Champions opens if at least so that's just game rules. Champions leagues. There you go. The allocation of leagues with each competition is updated once a year and communicated 2 months before the start of the European season in August. Please note, clubs and league tiers are not expected to change significantly from year to year. To determine where each covered league is allocated, we use a combination of Opta rankings from top performing clubs in each league, activity on Sorare, and our partnership. So, John, you said I could see France, Italy being paired into a league to remove champ. They used a specific ranking. I think it was from FIFA or so. So in here, so what comes into effect is not just what sort of FIFA or Opta or whatever are saying. They're also saying the activity on Sorare. Now, with the PSG link, it would yeah, so, I mean, it surprised me if they removed it from champ, that it's not just like, if it was strictly down to FIFA, I'd probably be a little bit more worried, you know, thinking about it a little bit more now. I'd probably be a touch more worried. But the activity on Sorare, and you look at some of their stuff, yes, I know that you've got PSV and obviously Ajax were the big hitters out in the Dutch league. Portugal doesn't really phase me. You know, the Benfica, the Portos, etc. I don't think they'd ever make their way into champ. It's just that Dutch league, whether they would swap it with the French league. But because PSV stacks and stuff would compete, but I don't think it's likely. So I'm probably overthinking it. And anyway, if I get fucked again, it is what it is. What can I do about it? So that would be my forward. So again, if I've got a little bit of cash, who am I going to get in? I'm probably not going to get Maddison in, right? Because it's just too risky. So let's just get rid of him. I'm probably not going to get him in either, considering I've already got the Marseille stuff. Lo Celso is a little bit of a risk, but I'd rather Isco than Lo Celso. So shortening this down straight away, you've got Isco in there, who I could afford now to go out there and get. You've got Stiller, who does interest me, but... well, he does interest me, to be honest with you. He's a young guy, takes his set pieces, plays for a decent team. He can stay on the list. He can stay on the list. And who defender-wise have I got in here as well? Let's just clear this up. I'm not going to get you in. I think that you're decent, but I'm not going to get you in. Barker, I do want to keep an eye out. Brown, I'd rather have Klaus than Brown. So let's just tidy. I do want to monitor his price though. Matt Seymour is another one that I know that people have been talking about for a little while, but look at them scores. Amazing scores. And he's 38 quid. He just went for 40 odd quid. Am I realistically going to pick him up? He's not tried and tested, is he? I'm probably not. So let's just get him off. Jubal, I'm going to leave in there just in case I do need to pick up somebody a bit cheaper. Do you know what? Barco can go as well. Fuck him. He can go. And then we just... Klaus is probably the one that I need to pick up. He's been on there for so long. I'd love to know if you could see how long like somebody's been in there on there for. So he comes in. And then goalkeeper-wise, I've got Bolka and Rulli. So the Marseille, and then if I pick up Klaus, maybe Nice, maybe Bolka comes in. It's just that Bolka has not got a patch on Milinkovic-Savic again, really. But if I'm paying for that sort of high... what's their running? That's I guess you got Reims, Brest plays. Yeah. Well, I think that's it then. I've at least narrowed it down, right? So if we go ahead and do what I've said that we're going to do, this looks more likely. I think really normally good AA. Yeah. I know that some people obviously run full on Marseille stacks. But you know, it could be that I put, so who's the defender to stack him within here? I think it's that yeah, this guy. But he was injured, or was he suspended? Yeah, he was suspended. It's probably him, isn't it? But maybe I don't need to stack it if I get Brilliant, because I've already got two other Marseille players in there anyway. I know it's the synergy of the clean sheet, but yeah, maybe you go with something else. I think that's it. I think I monitor these prices and I look to see where I go with it. And I do think that I need to go from 3 to 2 to get that little bit of cash to bring some of these players in and just really strengthen two lineups and just see what happens in the last 12 games. Stack with Bruno as the classic. Yeah. Yeah. Bruno will always be that sort of yeah, yeah. Bruno, sorry, I was finished my sentence there. Bruno will always be that one that kind of comes in as that just standalone thing. So yeah, you're probably right. You know, even if it was a Højbjerg and a Guri with the Monaco back, he would come in, and you get the collection up for what it's worth with cheaper rates with cheaper rares. Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe I get Klaus in. What price is he going for? He's probably going to be going for about 30 to 35 quid. Maybe I get Klaus in over Di Lorenzo and almost see that as a bit of a straight swap. Klaus comes in at least. And then I think Guri's got to come in no matter what happens because of Højbjerg and Marseille, what we've been talking about. And then I've got Ito and I've got Moses Simon. Maybe Ito goes. Maybe Junior Ito goes. Like, is Ito better than... Who was on my... So, obviously, he's not better than Cherky, right? But who was the other guy that was on there? It was Beereth. I spelled his name wrong. Beereth. So, now I've got the goalkeeper in that of him. So, is Beereth better than Junior Ito? Not in terms of AA. Beereth does take penalties. Not other set pieces, though. He's just signed there. He plays for more of a dominant team. So he probably is, isn't he? So 50 quid there. I don't know. What do people think, by the way? So Ito or Beereth? Can I do a little side by side here? Oh, that's annoying. I can't do it on that side. Oh, yeah, I can. Junior Ito. Junior. What am I doing? Sorare scores. Look at that. You like Ito, Rhyme? You prefer Ito over Beereth, yeah? Even though that I've got that Monaco thing. Well, maybe yeah. Maybe then if I bring somebody in, it's not going to be this Beereth. It's going to be, you stick with Ito, I stick with Moses Simon, I bring in Guri and maybe a Cherky as well. 4 forwards for a two lineup team. But then, you know what's going to happen with that is that each week I'm going to be playing Guri straight away. So then I've got Ito, Moses Simon, and Cherky. Say I'll pick up Cherky. Cherky's going to play all the time. So the other two are just sitting there. That's what I don't want. I don't want just dead weight sitting in the gallery that I'm not going to use. I don't know if you agree, but with the prices they are now, I don't know the benefit of having as much depth as there used to be, as you can buy a replacement fairly cheap and easy if needed now. Yeah, I mean, I'm running 3 teams there quite thin, you know, so it'd only be selling a couple or a few probably. But yeah, I'm running 3 teams on that, John, that if I need somebody, I'll go and pick them up for like 20 quid or whatever. That's why I've got that Jubal in there. That's probably why partly I've got Aspas in there and stuff. It's just that I'm running really thin with 3 lineups. I mean, like if we look at our builder for next week, by the way, this is sort of my game week for the midweek. It's just 2 teams. I know that Dubravka's not going to play. I know that, which is annoying because we've got Bruno there against Ipswich. Is there any point of bringing in another goalkeeper for this lineup? Because I'm playing Bruno here anyway. But yeah, that's the only team that I've got. But like looking at next week, if you look at these and let me put in a, who does that leave me after that? Kenny Lala. It leaves me a Di Lorenzo. I haven't got a goalkeeper that plays. I haven't. He might play, and he doesn't play. So yeah, 3 lineups for next week. I've only got 3 leftover players. If you had Cherky and Guri, would you really need Ito and Simons as well then? Or could one be sold? Well, that was the kind of point that I was, well, not point I was trying to make. I wasn't trying to make any point, I suppose. But I was trying to weigh up that, like, if I brought in Cherky by, like, selling De Gea, for argument's sake, and then having the funds to bring in Cherky, and then selling a couple of others, the Di Lorenzo and the other ones that we've mentioned, the Savania, and whoever else, and then bring in Guri, is that, like, is Junior Ito, well, I suppose no, what was I trying to say? If I didn't bring in Cherky and I bought in Birith, then would I sell Ito? Is Berith better than Ito? We've said Ito. So that means if I wasn't bringing in Cherky, then I wouldn't need to sign anyone other than Guri. I think that's where I was getting to. Fuck me. It's getting late. Been a long day. Been up since 5. There we go. So yeah. If I get in Cherky and I get in Guri, then I get rid of Griezmann and either Ito or Simon. So I've got one hanging over. If you sold Ito, could you get a better defender / mid in that scenario of having Cherky and Guri? Yeah, who's the mid though? I suppose is that's what you go to. Defenders, I think I'm all right with defenders though, because I'll be playing I'd be playing 2 lineups, and by then I'd bring in Klaus definitely. I've got Marquinhos and I've got Correa or Tilo. Let's just call him Tilo because I can't pronounce his surname. So that's my 3 sort of defenders. I mean, this lineup, like, say this is actually in D2. I don't think it's going to be. This is going to be in D3. This lineup's not doing anything, is it? I know I've got Bruno out, so normally, like, Bruno would come in to my D1, which means, let's just say, Bischoff moves into my D2, which means Savanier or Milo moves into this lineup, which means Teddy Tuma's not in there. Junior Ito, we know we've already spoke about, and then I've at least got the Fiorentina synergy at the back. But they're like, that's just not going to do anything, is it? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to use any of these. I have in the past used Ito in D1, and I've just used De Gea in D1 for the first time this week, and look what happened there. But they're not going to win me D1. Now the other argument is, well, yeah, could they win you D3? I don't even know if they could win you D3. Can they? Probably not. Might sound crazy, but another classic Bruno for your second lineup of a classics or a classic smasher. It could. I mean, I kind of got that at the moment, or I've had that for months on end. I mean, Griezmann's kind of fallen off a cliff to a point, right? But I kind of had that. I had Griezmann as my sort of smashing forward back in the day, and then I've had Bruno as the midfielder. But the annoying thing is that done it for me is I could just never play them together. And it just frustrated me. Like this game week, Bruno gets 100, Griezmann gets an 80. You know, and they can just not possible to be in the same lineup. So, if I get another smasher midfielder, classic, I can never play them in the same lineup. But then again, if I'm playing 2 strong lineups, then what does it matter if I'm okay with that? I'd probably rather a smasher midfielder, because then at least, like, when I get a Gurian or something like that, I'm going to be playing him with Højbjerg, so it'd be pairing him with another midfielder, which would be the Bruno or the other one. And that's why I was saying about selling Griezmann, because then if I got that, then Griezmann would go, and then obviously, yeah, I don't know. I think it's given me some thought because I do want to sort this out for next week. So, like, am I really going to miss it if this whole line up here on the right hand side wasn't playing? Am I really going to care? Probably not. So, maybe that's just. I mean, Di Lorenzo, I'm not even playing, right? I wonder who Nice are playing because that's about getting Klaus in then, or even this guy. But I think he's a lot more money. Like Klaus are playing Saint Etienne, you know. I think Klaus comes in, and if Klaus comes in, he comes in over probably Savania. I don't know. Anyway, it's getting late, but it's just giving me food for thought. I probably will have a video coming out talking specifically about my limited stuff that I had going on. Would you enjoy having better cards again as well in the gallery? Yeah, I would. I want better cards in the gallery. That's when I enjoyed it back in the day, you know, when I had Teddy Toomer, who was like an £800 card because he was one of the best in the league, and I had some other top players. I can't even remember who it was, but I had some big players. Even Griezmann, I think I've owned Griezmann about 3 or 4 times. So I would enjoy it more. It's just, I suppose there's a bit of this way you can do that for your gallery. Yeah, I suppose you know what it is. There is a little bit of like fear in there, I suppose. And I don't know why, because there's nothing to really be fearful about anymore. Because like my gallery's kind of shrunk by 9/10 or whatever. I've got 1/10 or even maybe 1/12 left of what it already was anyway. So what's the fear? They all go down to zero, but then I suppose I've got the chance of winning something at least in All Star if they are the better players. But yeah, I think that's definitely helped. About thinking what to do. I think De Gea just goes after this game week. I mean, what was the PSG score? What did that finish on? Because obviously I'm not going to relegate myself from that, and he's in that D1 lineup, which just even saying that really fucking pissed me off. So 76, so 3-2 it finished. Cherky with a 72. I know I'm not sharing in that at the moment, but and then Hakimi comes in again with a goal in the. Oh no, that was Leon coming back. Yeah, that was Leon coming back. Yeah, so we'll see. It's mainly earning enough now to fund your next season, isn't it? So this way feels stronger for that. Yeah, yeah, I agree on that, mate. I agree. All right, well, thanks everyone for jumping in. I mean, probably was a little bit all over the place in terms of stuff, but then again, that's probably what a stream is, right? I am going to try and do a little bit more consistently. You know I have been a bit missing in the last couple of months and stuff. It's just that the other thing is I don't want to make content for the sake of making content and be like, oh, look, go and buy this player, go and do this. It's I wouldn't enjoy making that type of content. So if there is anything that you think out there would, you know, that you'd like to see and stuff, you know, feel free to DM me on Twitter and see what, you know, suggest some stuff. But yeah, if you've not liked the video so far, hit that like button. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you all again soon. Take care. Have a good one.